What's going on with your YouTube family? Let's see. So we're in the ending of basketball months, right? And I keep hearing conversations. Who's the GOAT? Especially in the NBA. So we speak in the realm of NBA. Now, who's the GOAT? Michael Jordan's the GOAT. No, LeBron James is the GOAT. Now, ones that say LeBron James is the GOAT pretty much, followed LeBron when he was on the Cavaliers. Many have not seen when he was in high school. And some even recently follow him when he's on the Lakers. But ever since he won some championships, he left Cavaliers, went to Miami. Then from Miami back to the Cavaliers, won a couple of MVPs and things of that sort. Now he's the GOAT, or he's got the juice. And as quiet as kept, few people stopped talking about Kobe. They skip Kobe and go to LeBron. And to me, honestly, LeBron should not be in a GOAT conversation. He's not on a Mount Rushmore. I would argue, I would put Stephen Curry, I would put him over LeBron. Why? Although he didn't have a massive start, Curry had to show growth compared to LeBron. He just came busting through like Superman, dunks, moves, all of that. Curry, he had to take some time to develop. Yet, his championships mean more than, to me, LeBron's championships. See, LeBron left the Cavaliers, went to Miami, rode on D-Wade's coattails, and then went back to Cleveland and won one championship. And then after that, then he left to better endeavors, as you would say. Now, depending on the era that you're speaking of, then I would say in that era. Now, some could be argued of all times. Some people would say Magic Johnson or I would say Wilt Chamberlain will be the GOAT of all time. But so I wouldn't be mad if somebody said excuse me. I lost a little train of thought. I was going to say Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, I say he's the GOAT. Not only he had a rocky start, but he faced a lot of tough competitors of his time. Now, when you have a dunk after you have songs about you, like Mike. I want to be like Mike. If only I can be like Mike. He said, I like that song. Commercials, several shoes, movies, a lot of those accolades, and we talking about back to back to back. He had 6 championships in a consistent basis, consistently. Then he left, played baseball, played a whole nother sport. When the lockout happened, those of you know, you guys know what the lockout was about. And it took probably Phil Jackson and some others to convince Mike to come back. He was good at five championships, or even 4. But he stayed one last time with the 6th championship. And then that was his last one of his major last games. But even later on, he came back again. And he played for the Wizards. And that's when Kobe was at his peak then. Mike was passing the torch. So Mike passed the torch to Kobe. Kobe was the closest one to Mike. It's like he embodied greatness even before greatness was a term. Even when people knew, before people knew about Kobe's greatness. Now, Kobe could have came right out of high school. I think he went to college for a couple of years. He was in there, I think he was in there 18 or 19. Right? And so I think Charlotte picked him up, but I think they switched, he switched it, changed his mind, and went to the Lakers. Now, in another era in the past, like in the 70s, you got 60s and 70s, you got Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, some other guys, Larry Bird. Okay, these were the GOATs. Yes, and Dr. J. I want to say the top 2 GOATs, Dr. J and Wilt Chamberlain, because of those 2 players changed the game. You couldn't do certain moves. They couldn't do certain moves because it was unfair. Only those 2 players could do it. One, because they were extremely tall and lengthy. So, only those 2. But yes, who's the GOAT? It depends on the era. And question is, when you say the GOAT, what qualifications does it take for a person to be the GOAT or to equal up GOAT status? If you changed the game, I would say you can be part of that conversation. LeBron James just added to the game, but he did not change the game. Players that changed the game, Allen Iverson, and he should be in the. I think he should be in the conversation. Allen Iverson, he changed the game. He made players want to do crossovers. He pretty much made crossovers famous. He even juked the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan, when he played against Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had really good defense as well. And Allen Iverson juked him. Okay, so Allen Iverson changed the game. Also, one of the main players that had cornrows and had his unorthodox style, he changed the game. He's one of the reasons he changed the game. Michael Jordan, we know Michael Jordan. He not only changed the game, but he made people want to do his moves. Stephen Curry changed the game. He's definitely considered the GOAT status. Okay? He's the reason why three-pointers, people want to shoot three-pointers. Okay? Obviously, we know about Larry Bird. Larry Bird changed it, changed the game and was, had influence there. Okay? Magic Johnson. The fancy passes, the way people pass with such poised and poetry. He did the one look pass and passed it to the other player, sometimes passed it to the other side. That's not only, the only thing. And on top of that, won multiple championships and stayed on one team. So when you can stay on one team, that deserves a conversation. When you switch teams, I say you kind of forfeit that talk. That doesn't take away from you being a good player, a great player, a phenomenal player. But as far as GOAT status, no. There's requirements that needs to be fulfilled before you can even be in that conversation. You can't just be quick to give people GOAT status just because, he's a flashy player and, the low-hanging fruit. No. But yes, that is my thoughts of the GOAT conversation. All right, y'all. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. Have a good one.